Tiger Talk Flash Report.
All right. All right, big ups to the Tough Tiger Talk Nation. What's poppin', man? Big Q in the recap stream, man. Listen, what a hell of a game. How about them Tigers, man? The hell with them Cowboys. Them Tigers, man, listen, fam. Much love to y'all. Appreciate you. The Tigers pull off a great win, man. Listen, a lot of stuff went wrong in this game, man. For the Tigers at times. But Ole Miss, my goodness, Ole Miss really missed the target. They dropped the touchdown to start the series off. Remember that the first series, the guy was wide open, he dropped it. They missed the field goal and they missed it on the fourth down, but LSU had turnovers here or there. But listen, fam, it wasn't a perfect game. It was a very difficult game. But in the end, my goodness, the Tigers were able to pull it out 29-26 in overtime. I mean, what a win, man. Remember last year, Ole Miss got the best of the Tigers, right? They got the best of the Tigers, had like 700 something yards on us, whatever. But Brian Kelly replayed them. Listen, this was probably the most difficult game of the season. Like we had the USC matchup to start the year off, but I often question like if LSU had played a cupcake in that first week or maybe had USC in the second week, we probably would have beat them. We'd have beat them. But beating Ole Miss like they did, and it wasn't perfect, but the way they gutted it out is a confidence and morale building situation for this LSU team. They're 13th ranked, obviously beating a top 10 team. They're ranked 9. Ole Miss came into this thing ranked number 9. They beat them. It's definitely going to help them move up in the rankings. So, man, listen, I was, watching the game. It was an exciting game. It had a lot of stuff going wrong, kept us on the edge of the seat. But LSU pulled out a really solid win tonight. And man, credit to them, credit to Coach Kelly and his squad. I mean, man, what can I tell you, man? We was watching the show. I was doing another stream. Matter of fact, I was on PPR. We was doing the recap. I mean, actually breaking down some stuff on PPR during our Pelican stream, and just monitoring both. Doing the monitoring LSU's situation. And fam, this was just what a hell of a game, man. What can I tell you? This was a hell of a win by LSU tonight, beating these people 29-26, getting a little revenge. So I'm happy for that. All right. So big ups to you, fam. Appreciate y'all. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear me, fam. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear. All right. So anyway, I'm going to keep it going just in case you guys can hear. All right. Much love to the fam. Brother Roll True. Big ups to you, big boy 46. Much love. Y'all put the one in the chat if y'all can hear me, man. If my sound is coming through loud and clear on y'all in. All right, good. Brother Damien, how you doing, sir? We got it, bro. 29-26 Tigers, man. How about that? LSU doing the thing. Let's hit these statistics, man. 22 all with first downs, 22-22 on first downs. LSU was 6 of 16 on third down. Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss club was 11 of 22 for 50%. Then you look at the fourth down, both teams were 2 of 3. 464 yards worth of offense for Ole Miss versus 421 by LSU. The passing, 337 to 284, which was big because Dart was a guy that a lot of people talked about, thought he would put up a ton of yardage on LSU. And really, boy, I mean, Nussmeier's really been winging it, man, for the Tigers, man. His numbers are way up there. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to kind of look up his statistics. You have to definitely consider him to be in consideration in terms of being a player that should be listed in amongst those guys. He's putting up a ton of yardage, man. I mean, Coach Kelly's letting him wing that thing, man. He let him throw it out there. So, but he made some plays, some stuff. I was really kind of upset. I ain't gonna lie, I was really upset with some of his throws. But credit to the man. He hung in there, man, and we got the W. 337 passing yards, 6.6 yard average per throw for LSU versus almost 7 yards by Ole Miss. He had 2 interceptions in the game, 2 ill-advised interceptions. Ole Miss had 180 yards rushing on 42 carries. They averaged 4.3 yards per rush. LSU 84 yards on 24 attempts for 3.5. So really, it was all on Nussmeier's shoulders to kind of carry the day. He made some gambly throws, but in the end, he made some really good dimes. That Aaron Anderson interception, a reception that he had to Aaron Anderson in the end zone to kind of tie the game up on the back end, and then the throw to Kyren Lacy. I mean, he was making some good throws as well to kind of redeem himself in this game. 12 penalties by Ole Miss. They were just stupid with the penalties tonight. 12 for 110. LSU 6 for 45. 2 turnovers, like we talked about, the 2 interceptions, and the fumble loss and an interception by LSU. The time of possession was nearly the same, 31-50 by Ole Miss versus 28-10 by the Fighting Tigers, man. It was really nice looking in Death Valley tonight, man. It was just a spectacular night, man. Shaq was there. Justin Jefferson was there. Odell Beckham Jr. was there. It was a phenomenal night for them for LSU celebrating that 100-year history in Death Valley, man. What can I tell you? They really had a hell of a game to go along with that very, very solid matchup. All right, anyway, Garrett Nussmeier finished with 22 of 58 at 51 attempts tonight. 22 of 51 for 337, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he just kept throwing it until he made it right. Caden Durham, 12 carries for 37 yards. Josh Williams, 9 for 34. And Garrett did struggle. Kind of scrambled a couple of times, 2 for 16 later on in the game. Remember, he ran for that first down, picked up a chunk of yardage, battled his way for the first down to help set up a lot of this stuff, man. It was really prime stuff. We was watching Kyren Lacy, 5 catches for $111 and the touchdown on the back end of the game. Aaron Anderson, 3 for 81 in the score. And then you see the rest of the guys. Mason Taylor, 5 for 43. He had his contribution. Josh Williams, 3 for 43. Xavier Thomas, 2 for 36. And Tre'Davious Green, who they showed him and used, called the touchdown early on from 12 yards for a score. Big wide receiver. They try to get involved. We had a lot of injuries to our wide receiver core. They fought through that to make it happen as well. Zay Alexander, man, had a lot of positive plays. Love watching him play. Very solid cornerback. He's turning into, man, because can't never say enough about him. He had a few issues, but in the end, the guy is really a solid cornerback in the secondary for us. Jaxson Dart, 24-42 for 284, a touchdown and interception. Ulysses Bentley was their top rusher, 11 carries for 170 yards. He had that 50-yard run that really broke, kind of helped him get on the board. Henry Parrish Jr., 14 for 42. And Jaxson Dart scrambled 15 times for 27 yards. All that in a losing effort for them. Their top guys was Caden Lee, the wide receiver, 9 catches for $132, and Trey Harris had 7 for 102 and a score. So they had a lot of promising stuff going on for their side of things, man. But in the end, man, LSU did what they needed to do to get the victory over this team. They improved to 5-1 on the season. How about that for those Tigers, man? The Tigers improved to 5-1, and they are 2-0 in the conference. So, man, big win for LSU. It wasn't pretty. Right? But they did everything that they needed to do to get the dub, man. I'm happy for the Tigers, man. They handled the business. They did what they were supposed to do. Very excellent win. Have to clean up some of the stuff on the back end, man. But listen, love what I've seen insofar as them gutting it out, getting back into the game, and then closing out with the win in Death Valley. Very good. All right. Yes, Rose says Swinson. Swinson is a dog. Yeah, he is, man. That dude there is awesome, man. He was able to get pressure. And credit to LSU's offensive line in pass protection. Garrett Nussmeier was able to find a lot of these targets. Those guys were doing a really good, solid job of pass blocking. Run blocking, we really, kind of abandoned it to a degree as we was trying to throw ourselves, trying to get, set up certain things. We definitely need to learn to run that ball a little bit better than what we've been doing, fam. We got to work on that as we get deeper to the season. Yeah. And Big Boy says, yes, the schedule Don't get no easier though. Indeed, but we're not, we ain't scared of no ghosts. We're gonna be all right here, man. That is a big, even though it wasn't a perfect game, that is a huge morale building win for LSU moving forward. They're now on a 5-game winning streak after losing the first game to USC, and they just rolling along, man. They had a couple of tough games, like a tough game against South Carolina. They gutted that one out. They had a little issue with UCLA. They gutted that one out in the second half. And Ole Miss, this was another game they were able to beat. So next up for LSU is Arkansas. They got Arkansas next, man. That's going to be the next game that we'll see. And they have to go to Arkansas. When we go up there, they always play very difficult. In Arkansas, guess what? Arkansas beat the fourth rank, and this is going to be a challenge for us because Arkansas was able to beat the number 4 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. They beat them 19-14. So it yeah, we will have to just watch that go on. Yeah, so that was another thing. They beat them the fourth ranked Tennessee Vols, so that you can't take them lightly at all. So yeah, it doesn't get any easy for LSU. But man, listen, it is what it is, fam. We got to head to Arkansas after being down here for what we had like 3 home games in a row. So we was doing pretty good with that home living, man. Now we got to get on the road against a very tough opponent in Arkansas, 4-2 and 2-1 in conference play, and we got to get the dub, man. We got to take care of business, man. And then we got to do a much better job of running the football, man. We know Durham could do it. Williams is there, him and Durham. We're gonna have to do a better job of running the ball to balance the offense, man. But how about Garrett freaking Nussmeier, man? His numbers on the college season right now are ridiculous. Over 1,600 yards. He's thrown 15 touchdowns just against 4 picks. He has a rating of 84.2, which is good for 11th in the nation. So Garrett Nussmeier, man, his numbers are piling up, man. Piling up and piling up, man. So I wonder what his numbers will look, because he can wing it, man. He can wing it, man. So anyway, we'll see how it all looks moving forward, man. But yes, indeed, man, Nussmeier really turning up. We got to give him a rushing attack, fam. We got to give him a rushing attack against Arkansas. This won't be an easy game at all, but we'll just have to monitor and see how it plays, man, for real. All right. So anyway, let me get a few comments from the family members. Any questions there? Damien says, yes, LSU has a bloodbath schedule. Indeed, we do. We got some tough people. We got some stuff. Arkansas is not going to be easy. We know that. And then let me get their schedule up on the screen here so we can see it here. It won't be easy. It won't be easy. We got how many games? About 6 games remaining. We got Arkansas in Arkansas. We got a 15 ranked Texas A&M as it stands right now. Then we have a difficult Alabama club coming up on Saturday, November the 9th. That's another tough game, but at least that's at home. So after we go on the road against Arkansas and play a tough Texas A&M team, we come home and await Alabama. And then, of course, we go on the road middle of November against Florida, come back and finish the season out at home against Vanderbilt in Oklahoma, who lost today to Texas. Texas kind of beat them up pretty good today. We'll see them at the end of the year. So, man, how many of these games do you see LSU winning? Right? We were able to beat a difficult Ole Miss team. Arkansas, they should win. Texas A&M is another game. These are tough games on the road. Always, man. When we go to Arkansas and Texas A&M, those are always difficult road matchups for us. But coming home for Alabama, then Florida's not really hitting on nothing, and then Vanderbilt. Uh, I think we should be able to beat them. And Oklahoma's another team at the end of the year. So the team I really would kind of be concerned about if I look at our schedule would be Alabama there and Texas A&M, because it always seems like we always seem to struggle against these teams on the road. But we can get these games if we really truly clean up some stuff. And we're at the part of the schedule, family, where the LSU has established itself in terms of its offenses, know what it's supposed to do. The defense has played better. At times, our secondary looked better. We still gave up too many plays in our secondary. We allowed them to gash us pretty good with the run. But Ole Miss left a lot of plays on the field, fam. To be honest with you, they really let this game in the hands of LSU. To be honest with you, like I said, the guy opened the first offensive series off. He was wide open and dropped that that catch, that would have been a touchdown because he had those guys beat that they would have had a touchdown there. They missed the field goal. They even tried to go for it deep in our own, our own territory, and the LSU stopped them. Remember that play? So they left a lot of plays on the field to help LSU. Plus, they were very, very incompetent in terms of their penalties. They had a dozen penalties today to help LSU do what they needed to do. So yeah, of course you're going to look at these remaining games and say which games we should be able to literally defeat these teams. But I'm looking at Alabama home. You should be able to beat Alabama. But then, like I said, man, that's always something you want to look out for. And Oklahoma at the end of the year is also a game you want to keep an eye out on for Oklahoma. They were looking good at first, and you've seen how they got handled by Texas. But Texas is really good. Texas is pretty damn good. So Texas A&M teams on the road, you got to watch out, man. Arkansas and Texas, but Texas A&M on the road and Alabama, in my opinion, those are the two teams. But we'll see. All right. Much love to y'all. Damon says, Q, ain't Alabama versus LSU is always the first week of November. It's the second week now, or am I tripping? It's in the first week. I think it is in this first week. Let me pull up my schedule, my calendar right quick, fam. Hold on here. Let me pull up my calendar because man, listen. There's been so much stuff going on. Today was it was sportsman paradise today for the sports heads out there. Watched Bivol and Better Biev. Watched that fight there. Also, LSU did their thing, all this kind of stuff. So it was a good day for the sportsmen. All right. So anyway, let me see. November scheduled here. Yeah, that's on the 7th. Yeah, that's right. It's in the first week. That's the first week because November starts on a Saturday. So it starts on a Saturday there, and the 7th is the first Thursday of the month. So yeah, that's the first month, bro. All right. Yeah, it's been solid. Big boy said we can win them all. Yeah, big boy, I hate you, brother. Like I said, man, tonight they did what they were supposed to do. They were able to get busy later in the game. They had, were able to get busy and tying the game. And then ultimately, Ole Miss kicked the field goal and then LSU went down there and got the touchdown to take the game away from them and send them home. Like I said, we always historically, we play, I think we will beat Arkansas, but the game, and I don't want to discount Arkansas because Arkansas, it's going to come in here wanting to beat LSU. They're going to have it on their mind because LSU should climb in rankings. We'll see what happens early next week. But beating the number 9th team, even though you beat them by 3 in overtime, you'll climb. They should climb at least into, LSU's 30. They should be in the 10. Like, we'll see where everybody else is in terms of, what happened during the scorers today or whatnot. But we'll just have to find out what that is in the top 10. Top 20, the top 10 to see what that all looks like. But, we'll see how it all looks. But yeah, I'm anticipating us to climb. See, Texas A&M, they defeated Oklahoma 34-3. And then, of course, you're seeing Oregon beat Ohio State by 132-31, but that's 2-3 right there. So you don't expect they'll swap positions. One go to 3, another one to 2. Penn State beat USC barely. This is a team that hadn't since LSU. They beat LSU. They're 3-3 and 1-3 in the Big Ten. That's a tough game because Penn State's a good team this year. You see, Mississippi State gave Georgia a little scared at 41-31, but Georgia pushed out. They're ranked at 5. South Carolina gave Alabama a scare. They kind of scared them a little bit there, 27-25. Florida, lost to Tennessee 23-17. You see Ole Miss there. So we should see some of our guys, and I don't know who would probably fall out of that thing because you see Tennessee won. So who would move in? Let me see. Alabama won, Georgia won. These are top 10 teams. Penn State won. These guys swap positions at 2 and 3 in Texas. So LSU probably would move from 13. I don't know if they get inside the 10 because everybody ahead of them won, looks like. So except for, like I said, Oregon, they beat whatchamacallit, and they probably won't slide. They'll switch spots if maybe fall a little bit, but not close enough LSU. So LSU might get, to 11th. Iowa State's there. at 11. So I don't see if anybody else ahead of them lost, fam. So we'll see how it all ends up, man. You know, they do have the little surprises every now and again where LSU's currently 13. So we expecting them to slide up a little bit. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, family, so we're gonna get ready to get out on that, man. Listen, what a solid win by the Tigers tonight. 29-26, man. They pulled it out. They improved to 5-1. They're now 2-0 in conference play currently. And of course, we look at the standings. Let's do a little standard. Look at the standings here to the right there, fam. You can see the super conference, known as the Southeast Conference. They eliminated East and West last year. So you see what we're working with here. And Texas A&M, fam. Like we talked about Texas A&M being on the schedule. They're 5-1 and 3-0 in conference. We have them in 2 weeks. Texas is ranked number one in the nation. So we know what they're dealing with. And there go your LSU Tigers, 5-1 and 2-0 there. Georgia is there. Then you got Arkansas that is there as well. So the next couple of games, if we look at our SEC schedule, we have the in terms of conference and conference wins, Texas A&M in 2 weeks, and Arkansas, who's 2-1 and 4-2 overall next week. So yeah, we got some stuff, we got some work to do, man, and that's all good because we in the best conference in the country in the Southeastern Conference. So LSU, man, we got to take it there. We got to get the dubs and keep it pushing. All right. So anyway, fam, let me see if I can see if Coach Kelly is tuned up. Here's Coach Kelly at the press conference. Let me see if I can get him tuned up so we can hear his post game breakdown. Here's Coach. Let me see if I can get Coach Kelly in here, man, so y'all can hear. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this as well. So he talk about the recap of the game against the Ole Miss running Rebels. Here we go.
Well, just an incredible atmosphere tonight. I thought our game operations and creating an incredible environment with 100 years of Tiger Stadium. Hats off to them. I thought they made that the stadium environment unique and electric, and what you want for a game day event, and then the two teams played up to that and lived up to it. It was certainly many people were expecting maybe a similar shootout to last year. I didn't think that would be the case. I thought this would be much more about opportunities that were you know going to have to come by and be taken advantage of. We didn't early on. Obviously, we turned touchdowns into field goals, or didn't get touchdowns and led to field goals. But um, can't say enough about the defensive effort tonight. Sacks, harassing the quarterback, making the big plays when they needed to, and that's what we've been talking about in terms of you know getting better each and every week on both sides of the ball. That was complementary football for us. And you have to do that to beat a top 10 team. And really proud of our football team and the way they never blinked. They were down virtually the whole game, and they just kept playing. There was no frustration. It would have been easy for our offense to get frustrated, not getting touchdowns, but they just kept plodding along. Garrett would tell you that there were things that he learned. I thought he grew more today than at any time that he's been here. That was a growth game for him, and you may see it differently. But as a coach, the growth that he was able to exhibit through that game and at the end is going to serve him well. So, just a great ball game. Hats off to Ole Miss, but really proud of our football team and the way they persevered to a victory tonight in overtime. So with that, we'll open up the questions.
Uh, Coach, you mentioned it was a growth game for Garrett. What were those areas of growth that you saw from him as the game went along?
Yeah, I think being in a situation where predictable passing situations with 7 and 8 man drops into coverage, requires a great deal of patience and mobility. You have to keep the play alive. And he did that later in the game much better than just trying to, throw it down the field. And as the game grew on, he made some plays where he kept plays alive, and he's capable of doing that. And so we saw another version that kind of grew out of, some of the things that were being, thrown at him tonight. And then certainly late in the game, the back shoulder throw, which we've been working a lot on, which is part of his repertoire that hadn't been shown. And then clearly, the great throw that ties it up on fourth down. Just really, really growth that is going to, I think, skyrocket him in terms of the next level.
Can you specifically that 4th and 5? Can you just kind of walk us through what was going on there from your perspective and what allowed Garrett to and Aaron to have success there?
Very similar. They were in a 2-deep shell, and we're pulling the backside safety out with a corner route, and then bringing the slot receiver all the way back across the field. So the first thing is you need protection. So let me just say this: you can ask me all you want about the run game, but the bottom line is what won this game for us was our offensive line keeping him clean with no sacks and giving him the time in a play like that to bring the slot receiver all the way across to the backside hash after we had pulled the safety off the backside hash. And he fits it in there with kind of a 3/4 sidearm sling to get it in there. Just pretty special play.
Brian, throughout your career, can you think of any instances where you've seen a kind of a wild high wire result like this maybe galvanize a team, a program?
Well, I think it's in many ways, I think our guys need to get used to it because their preparation is as good as any group that I've had. And that preparation was not transforming. It wasn't giving us the kind of performances that I thought it would. And I was frustrated with that early in the year. The preparation was outstanding, but we weren't seeing it in the performances. They weren't as sharp as I thought they would be. And now it's starting to translate a little bit better. And I think a lot of it has to do with them just not being distracted and really staying focused on what they need. So this is a team that's getting better each and every week. And sometimes that happens. Some teams come out of the gates hot and they're really good and they just get better and better. This team is getting better as it goes through the season.
Coach, obviously a huge win for you. Top 10 versus top 10, lived up to every syllable of its billing. How much confidence does this give your team as you continue through the meat of the SEC schedule? Oklahoma, Alabama, and other teams coming up. It doesn't get any easier from here.
And we just talked about it. I said, listen, let's enjoy this. We had the 24-hour rule in effect. Let's have 24 hours. We've worked really hard for this victory. The preparation, as I mentioned, was outstanding. So I want you to enjoy it, make good decisions, be smart, represent LSU in a positive way. But here's the big but. You got Arkansas on the road, and that is a tough opponent. So, we got to get right back at it. In the next 14 days, Arkansas and Texas A&M on the road, it will be a challenge. And I think now they've got the confidence that they can go out there and translate really good preparation into better performances that can, get them the victories they need.
Coach, right over here, your defense obviously played with a lot of passion and energy, but you've been very, adamant about doing your job. Can you speak to that a little bit and what it looks like when that group stays in their lane and does what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's about controlling the controllables for us, right? What can they control? And getting them in that kind of mindset of, all right, look, I can control how I think, and think in the right way has been a real big chore with this group, and getting them thinking about positive outcomes, getting them thinking about one play at a time instead of thinking about the light show. It was a beautiful light show, but and the scoreboard and all the other things. And wow, that was a great set of music. Just getting them locked in and focused on what's important. And they're so much better at that than they were in week one. And so control the controllables, play with physicality, and then an awareness. They're playing with a better awareness tactically on third down, red zone, short yardage, things of that nature. And that's what I'm referring to in particular.
Hey, Brian, I want to stay with that. Just the defense being put in tough situations, right? And you talked about complimentary football at the beginning of the week, their ability to respond, but they're also the ability to pressure and contain at the same time. What's leading to that?
They're just they understand the defense so much better. They're doing their job, and it's really been just a consistency in messaging. And how do you execute at the highest level when you need to, and to do that, you have to be able to stay locked in one play at a time. And we were not great at that early on, and we're getting so much better, and the communication's better, and we don't have a one play where we didn't rip through the B gap, and didn't let a gap charge go. We're just much more focused on doing our job consistently, play in and play out. It's a constant application of it that we lacked, and we're getting so much better at.
Yeah, Coach, you could just see it on the field that these defensive players really wanted this, and they were very physical throughout the entire game. Two guys that kind of come to mind: Braden Swinson, Zy Alexander. Two different parts of the field, but just what did you see from them, and just how important they were to you guys?
Well,
getting this game?
Swinson was, and has lived up to what he has done all year, a performance level of a defensive end that is playing at a high level. I mean, he's pressuring the quarterback. He's coming up with big plays. But where we have been deficient is winning matchups down the field. And Zy Alexander was outstanding tonight. He won the matchups. He tackled in space. We were able to stay in a position where they weren't in a lot of second and shorts. And because of that, because we got them behind the chains, we were able to set coverages. We were able to do some things and change the look quite a bit. They had to use a couple of timeouts because they didn't like the looks that we changed to. And that had a lot to do with the corner in particular. And I thought Ashton did a pretty good job too. But Zy was outstanding, and he got the game ball tonight.
Coach back here, Greg Penn and Whit Weeks seem to play really well off of each other. What do you see from them?
Well, I think Whit had how many tackles? 18? He had 18 tackles. So, and look, 18 tackles is just virtually impossible in this game today. And he was all over the field. He plays with great energy, a great fire. He runs so well that he can cover down the field. And then Greg Penn is getting everybody lined up. He's our green dot. I mean, he's just the glue. He's our glue guy for us. And it's just a great combination, those two guys working together right now.
Brian, going back to when you referenced week one for a second, back then you talked about how the defense wasn't ready to carry the team, and it seemed like this may have been an opportunity for that. What do you think about their ability to grow and be able to carry this team until the offense gets going?
I don't know that I'm interested in any one side of the ball carrying the team as much as I want to be, complimentary in terms of, I think our offense can play better. I think our defense is ascending and playing better football each and every week. And I think that to me, what's most important is guys are gaining confidence as we go through the season defensively and playing with a lot more confidence. You're going to see the results. And offensively, we, certainly, putting up 30 points or 29 points against what I would consider one of the better defenses that we're going to see this year. And that wasn't our best performance. And now we're down some guys too. I mean, we're not, we're not complaining here, but we've gotten our fair share of injuries, and our guys haven't complained about it. They've just rolled with the punches, and they went back out there and they competed tonight. I think we're going to get some guys back here pretty soon, and I think our offense will start to pick it up a little bit.
Just wanted your thoughts on throughout the night. It seemed like maybe it was hard to finish drives offensively with touchdowns, but at the end, last drive of regulation and then overtime, you finished.
Thank you. Speak? That's That's you said it better than I could have said it. Thank you, Jacques. You've been in this business a long time. It's look, it would have been easier for us to be frustrated, those that watch the game, but Garrett wasn't frustrated. And what we saw at the end was why I thought it was a great growth game. He made the plays when he needed to make them, the big ones, tied the game up right before the game ends, and then wins it in overtime. That to me is more indicative of what you're looking for from your offense than the inability to put it in the end zone. We got to go back and look at the film. Maybe we got to coach a little bit better because those players, they believed that they were going to win the game.
One more. You've got a lot to choose from. I understand. But can you remember being a part of a game that the only time you led was after the final play of the game?
I can't remember my middle name sometimes. So no, in honesty, I mean, I think that was a game that was one of just a few that I've had in my career that it always felt like we were one step behind, and we were always trying to stay in the game. That's why I kicked the extra point, to be honest with you. I just felt like our guys worked too hard to get back in that game, that I didn't want to go for two as an all or nothing situation. I wanted to kick it and get into overtime, which ended up being the right thing to do. Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
If cameras would line up here in the front of the podium, Garrett's going to be coming up.
All right, so that'll do it on that, man. Listen, man, that was a fantastic press conference by Coach Kelly. And listen, LSU edges Ole Miss 29-26 in overtime. LSU's now winners of 5 in a row. Next up is Arkansas. Going to Arkansas, we got 2 games on the road. Arkansas next week and the week after that, a tough Texas A&M matchup. So it's going to be interesting, man. And listen, I agree with Coach Kelly, what he said about this young team, man. At the end of the day, this was a morale building win, how they were able to, despite playing the way they did, in terms of just a lot of mistakes in the game, but they came together when it counted at the back end of the game, tying the game, to force overtime. And then, we had Ole Miss kicking a field goal. They didn't quit there. They went down and got the touchdown and beat the people. That's a very big win. And then on top of that, they beat a good Ole Miss club who is a top 10 ranked team in the country. So this is a huge morale building win for this Garrett Nussmeier led team going into the rest of the season. So, man, we got a bunch of really good games left. It's going to be fun watching it, man. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get out on that. Listen, thank y'all guys for tuning in on this Saturday's coverage of ILSU Tigers, man. Y'all, please feel free to do me a service. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed, man. We representing the Tiger Nation, man. We got the dub tonight. So with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Much love and go Tigers.